welcome to my channel. As I promised on my last video, I am doing a book review today. This is my first book review, so we'll see how it goes. And I'm reviewing Lute by Jennifer Thorne. It is there's a genre called folklore horror, so most people call it folk horror. And how I found out about Lute, I was listening to my podcast. It's called Pop Culture Happy Hour. I really recommend it. And it's it's on NPR. So they do a lot of movie reviews and TV shows, but they also do like book recommendations once in a while, like staff picks. I went on the NPR site, and it's really cool because they list the books by year. So you can pick, the latest books. They're like that were out in 2023, 2022. And then there's the genres. You can pick like thriller, romance, suspense. And I went on a rabbit hole. There's so many books that I want to read, but somehow the cover of Lute drew me in. So props for the person that did the cover. And then I read the synopsis and I was like, oh, I'm in. This is like right up my alley. I did my little research. I wanted to, see what the book was about. And a lot of people compare it to a mix of Wicker Man and Final Destination. And like I said, the genre is folk horror. I didn't think there was a lot of horror in Lute. It was more of a suspenseful mystery. But like I said, when I read the premise, I loved it right away. Lute is about this little British island, very secluded, and it's supposed to be this beautiful place. And the community in Lute, they live a very peaceful life. Nothing touches Lute. Nothing bad happens there. There's a war going on outside of Lute in the real world, but the war does not affect Lute. They have great weather there, and even the people from Lute that went to fight in the war, they don't die. The trade for living this peaceful life in this beautiful island is that every 7 years on summer solstice, 7 people die. The island gives, but the island takes. And before I read the book, I went on Jennifer's, the author, I went on her Instagram and I saw a reel where she's explaining the little map, because on the first couple pages of the book, there's a little map, and I'm all about a map in a book. Love it, because, it helps your imagination, wonder about this place. So she's explaining the map, where the church is, the Alder House, the rock, and it made me even more excited about the book because I love stories where the setting is as much of a character as the people in it. So our protagonist is Nina, and Nina moved to Lute 7 years ago after she met her husband, Hugh. He's from Lute. She met him on a cruise, and now they have 2 little kids. They have Charlie and Emma. Charlie, he's about 6, and Emma, it's 3. So after she met Hugh on the cruise, she moved with him to Lute. And Nina, she's a non-believer. She doesn't believe in the day, because they call, the summer solstice where 7 people die every 7 years, they call it the day. And Nina doesn't believe in it. She thinks it's just, a myth. And the folks in the community, they're all kind of used to the day, in a way that they're prepared for it and they accept it, because they know that living this idyllic life has a price. And on the day, they're being super careful, extra alert. Most of the people in the community, they decide to hide in their own homes in case of, anything happens, because the deaths in the past are so random. Someone in the past choked, someone fell down the stairs, someone, was riding a bike and broke their neck. So you never know when it's coming. We start the book with Hugh trying to take his family, Nina and the kids, on a little holiday away from the island to try to escape and avoid the day. But the engine of the boat that he's going to use breaks down. There's someone there trying to fix it. They can't fix it. And he said he has a little boat that he can take them to Sunnin, which is the island that all the other people from the island take the little kids, because apparently they want to absolve the kids. So all the kids go to Sunnin which is an island across the pond. But long story short, the guy that had the boat to take Hugh and Nina and the kids, he has to leave. And Nina can't find Charlie, so she goes into the grove or the woods to find him. She takes too long, and then she comes back. Nope, we're staying in the island. I thought Lute was such a quick read because of the suspense of it all. You know from the get-go that 7 people will die. And the whole time I'm reading, I'm like, who's going to be? Who is going to be? And then after the first death, the second death, I'm like, okay, I'm turning the pages like, okay, who's next? Who's next? I couldn't put it down because it's like, who is next? What I thought was interesting about the book too is that we experience everything through Nina's eyes. Imagine being a mother and knowing this is going to happen and your kids could be one of those that loses their lives. After the first couple deaths, Nina finally accepts that, oh crap, this is happening. I gotta protect my kids. So she has an eye full on them. You know, she makes sure they're in the house and they're just playing on the carpet and there's no knives or guns or anything that can slip on. So, or if they're outside, she's got them, you know, she's got her arms around them. She has someone always watching them. Because being an outsider, she's not from Lute. She's not even British. She's from Florida. So she's an American. And the fact that she has never experienced the day, she doesn't know what to expect. I also love the sense of responsibility that Nina finds because, you know, Hugh is useless. He's just being useless during the day. He's just staying inside his study. He doesn't leave the house. He's huffing and puffing and kind of whining, and then he gets drunk, and yeah, things are not going well for Hugh. And you find out why, you know, throughout the book. But because Nina and Hugh, they're basically the mayors slash protectors of Lute. She's Lady Treadway, and then he's Lord Treadway because of his family legacy. So besides stepping up to the plate as far as having to tell the families of the loved ones that passed away, like Nina, she also discovers a sense of community. By the way, they're calling this war Water Wars because I can't remember who said it, but someone said that they're saving World War III for something bigger. And in this war, the United States of America and Russia are allies, and the UK is the enemy. I was like, this would never happen. I don't mind a depart from real life, but at least tell me, how did this happen? Because, you know, Russia and the USA being allies, I don't think that would happen. Also, like the war, to be honest, it was not even necessary for the story because you're so focused on Lute. I don't even think that we needed to know that a war was going on. And thank goodness that Lute, the island, was intriguing enough to stop me from wondering why they only have one car in the island. Where do they get their supplies if there's a war going on? Or about like food, is there a boat that comes to Lute? And once again, why include a war? You could have just said that nothing bad happens in Lute. And I think that maybe the author wanted to amplify the fact that Nina feels like an outsider because, like I said, Nina, it's an American. And in this war, the USA is the enemy. Nina even jokes sometimes with folks in the community saying, you know, when she's asking, I think Maddie, she's asking him something and she's like, you know, I'm not an American spy. And at first, when I started reading the book, it's funny because I thought the story was like a historical story until Nina mentions that the way they're communicating with people in the outside world in the war, it's via emails. Like they're, you know, exchanging emails. I'm like, emails? Oh, this is like a dystopian world. So let me talk about the deaths. I won't spoil anything right now. I will talk a couple of spoilers at the end of the video. So if you read the book, stick around for that. If not, I'll give you a warning before I start talking spoilers. But there is one incident that causes a death that I didn't get it. How, like, it's a fire. That's all I'm going to say. How did it start? What happened? It seemed like from Nina going from point A to point B where the fire was happening, I was just like, it was so rushed. I was like, I'm still thinking like, how did it happen? Am I supposed just to imagine? So I was a bit confused. If you read the book, let me know in the comments down below, what did you think about the fire? Overall, I really enjoyed Jennifer's style of writing and, like I said, how she built up the suspense. So I'll probably check out more of her books. Also, Lute, if you enjoy Lute and if you're looking for something kind of similar, there is a show on HBO/Max called The Third Day. It's with Jude Law and Naomi Harris, and it's also about this little island, this little British island, and you know, there's a lot of folk horror there. Things happen, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a really easy watch. There's only 6 episodes and there's only 1 season, so it's a limited series. And the name of the little island is Osea. Yeah. And they say, the people in the island, they say if OC's sick, the whole world is sick. If OC is good, the whole world is good. So just, you know, just a little tidbits about the show. If you stuck around up to now, thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching this video. You know, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and all of that. But right now, I am going to talk spoilers. So you've been warned. At the end, where, you know, because the book, it's the day before, the day, and then they go by times. And then the last chapter is the day before. And I was like, the day before? No, this is not a flashback. I knew that the day before will be 7 years from now when, you know, Charlie's grown. He's what, about 14 or something. But anyway, so when they start bringing the terminally ill people that volunteer themselves to die for the island, I was just like, you know, it's people with MS, cancer, other, you know, diseases. And I was just like, not diseases, but illness. I was just like, why haven't they thought of this before? I know Joanna was the one that like, ting, ting, had the idea. But so they started calling people and hospitals, and then they got all these volunteers that at the end of the day, they will get injected with something and they would peaceful go to sleep. And then there'll be the sacrifice for Lute. And remember when Mrs. Wicked, yeah, that was her name, Wicked, the older lady, she's like 93 or 97 or something. She lost her whole family, and she's been telling Nina and Joanna that she's ready to go. She wants to die. She's like, take me, please. She even, mid-book, she tries to cut her wrist with like a butter knife. Not very successful. She survives the day. Poor lady. She's been wanting to go forever. But why not sacrifice her? If she wants to go, I know there's a lot of like ethical, you know, questions if you want to do that, you know, euthanasia and all of that, but things are different in Lute. So if the lady wanted to go, she should have gone, put a bullet in her head, because then it will be one less person the community had to worry about. You know, then we'll be like, okay, Mrs. Wicked, you want to go? Are you sure? Okay, now we only have to worry about 6 people. Hugh's death. I saw it coming, but not until like the very end. I was running out of pages and I was like, how much do I left here? And there's still like a couple of people that need to die. I'm like, what is going on? So it was like right at like up until the end. But once you start to realize how much pain and guilt and grief he was carrying, because, you know, his father died on the day, his best friend, his childhood best friend, Andy, died when they were little boys. He, you know, you could tell like how hurt this man was, that I was like, you're gonna be one of those. You're gonna die, Hugh. I thought though he was going to kill himself at the end. I did not expect that Nina was going to be the one that that shot him. And isn't it ironic that Nina has all these memories and flashbacks about her mom, and her mom was very emotional, emotionally abusive towards Nina, but her mom always called her a killer. You're a killer, you're a killer. And not in a good way, but like, you're a killer. And it's funny that at the end, she does become a killer. As far as Hugh, at first I thought he was such a jerk. When he wouldn't come out of the house, he was just, staying in his study. I was like, come on, man, you Lord Treadwell. You're supposed to be here for the community. But at the end, I kind of felt empathy for him. And then as far as Maddie and Nina, called that one too. At first, when she said this, he hates me. He's been hating me for like years. I thought he was like jealous of the relationship she had with Hugh and the family, because he lost his wife and his family. But after he said that he has feelings for her, I was like, they're gonna hook up. They're gonna end up together. So after that little like triangle, I was like, Hugh is gonna be out of the picture. So these were my thoughts on Lute. The book, it's available everywhere where you can get books. I got mine at the library, so please support your local library. Was a really easy read. Oh, another book that I read before Lute, I read House of Wolves by James Patterson. If you enjoy Succession, which is probably one of my favorite shows, in football, in family dynamic, you're probably going to enjoy House of Wolves. And if you're going to talk spoilers in the comment section, please make sure you address it and say spoiler alert. So if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell, the notification button, so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you next time.